Hello everyone! So today's look is one that I am very excited because I'm using a brand new product. It's the Kat Von D Shade and Light. Ooh! This is the eye contour palette that I got during the Sephora VIB sale that recently just passed. And I didn't know if I was going to get this because it was just, okay, it's another neutral matte palette. I have mattes, I have plenty of mattes, I have plenty of neutrals. That's probably what I own the most of, and I didn't really think I needed it. So when I saw this in store, I thought, okay, it's pretty, it's nice, and this is just kind of like an overview of all the colors. If you haven't already seen this, I'm pretty sure this is going to be very popular if it's not already. So I decided, you know what, I saw it in store, they only had like maybe 2 or 3 left, and I was like, you know what, obviously it looks like it might be popular, so I'm going to grab it and try it, and at worst case scenario, I can just return it, right? Well, when I swatched it, I was like, yes! This is so good as far as pigmentation, and it's just so, I don't know. I instantly gravitated towards these like warm tones here, which is what I'm using today because it's what I've been wearing pretty much every time I sit down and do my makeup. I'm doing some sort of smoky red-brown on the lower lashes, and that's kind of what I did today. I started with the lower lashes first because I wanted that to be as dramatic as possible, and then I sort of worked my way up to the lid. So I really like this palette. I can't say that I love it because this is my very first time using it for a tutorial. I have swatched it and I think that they so far are very, very good quality. I'm not a fan of Kat Von D shadow palettes, which I've tried in the past. I think some of them, some shadows are great, and then there's just some that are just meh, you know. And to me, when I have shadows that make me feel like, it's okay, it makes me feel like it's not worth keeping or investing if I go and play with it in store. But so far I really like these, and it has every sort of neutral color that you can possibly think of in this palette. So if you don't have neutrals and you want a all matte neutral palette, then I would definitely suggest that you check this out. I will link it down for you below if you haven't already seen it, or you can go into your local Sephora's and see it. But so far so good. So you will be seeing this palette again. Let me know in the comment section if you want more videos and review swatches and stuff like that. Let me know what you want to see from this palette. And enough blabbing, let's just go ahead and get into this look. I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do is apply this yellowy color here, and it's called Ludwin. And it's sort of like a banana-y shade. And I'm going to apply that with one of these little brushes. This is the Style Master, and I have a review that I did months ago, or that I posted a while ago, and if I remember, I will look through and link it down below. But I'm applying that with that sort of brush, any brush really. You don't have to have this, you don't feel like you need it. Applying that as a base all the way up. I actually use this under my eye as well because it has that sort of banana color, and it's matte, so it's actually really, really good. Okay, so I'm doing the lower lashes first because I really wanted that really rich reddish brown smokiness, which I did in my last video. I can't help it. It's been something that I have been loving a lot. So first thing we're going to do is take a pencil brush. I'm using the MAC 219 brush. It looks like that. Any pointed pencil brush would work. And I'm going to go in with this sort of red shade here. Let me show you this one. And I believe this one is called Lucius. So it's like a red brown. It's really, really intense. It's very similar to Makeup Geek's Cocoa Bear. So if you don't have this palette, that would be an option for you. And then I'm going to just apply this to the lower lashes. And this is very intense, so you might need to have like some tissue to tap off any excess. But I'm going really, really thick on the lower lashes. You can see on this eye here. Super, super thick. And then to kind of soften a little bit of this, I'm going to go in with the brown that's right next to that red one, and it's called Solas. And it's really nice rich brown color. Just taking a little bit, like I said, these are super, super pigmented. And I do tap off a lot of the excess, and I'm just going to kind of blend underneath the red brownish color that we used. And again, this is going to help pull it down some and kind of smoke it out. And then to help sort of diffuse any harsh lines, I'm going to take that same pencil brush, but I'm going to wipe it off really, really well. I'm going to go in with this sort of peachy shade. It's right in the same area, and it's called Latest. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's this sort of peach. And again, these are all matte if you haven't caught on to that already. And again, just kind of going just below that. just to kind of soften anything. It might be kind of harsh. I know it looks crazy. I know. Well, we're going to work on this, okay? Then I'm taking the Trey Jolie liner by NYX in the shade brown. I adore this liner. It is so, so good. This is going on my waterline. And then what I've done is I've gone all the way in. I'm not creating any sort of point or anything. I'm just following the natural shape of my tear duct, but I'm going all the way in with that. And as you can see, it already starts to pull together that lower lashes. So then I'm going to take that same sort of pencil brush, if I can find it, the MAC 219, with a little bit of that brown, which is this one here. And I'm going to sort of get a little closer to the root of my lash just to kind of soften some of the edges of that liner, just so that it kind of blends a little bit better into the red-brown color. Alright, so moving on to the upper lid area, I'm taking a brush like this from Sigma. I believe this is the E25 with that same peach color. I have my palette upside down. But the peach that we use to soften everything on the lower lashes. I'm going to apply this to my lid. And this is a very pigmented shade. And these are fairly easy to work with. I mean, this is my very first time using this palette, so I would definitely have to sort of report back. And I really like this peach. It adds a nice bit of warmth to the eye. Okay, so for some crease work, I'm going to take a big fluffy brush like this. This is one from Morphe Brushes, and I'm taking this sort of taupe shade. It's called Lazarus, and it's a very sort of cool tone taupe. And I like, it's kind of like a beigey taupe. So I'm going to kind of wipe or tap off some of the excess and kind of just go in the crease just to kind of put down a bit of product first before going in with some of the darker shades. And as you can see on this eye, we kept everything pretty much on this outer V, but kept it really low, nothing too high, because I tend to kind of blend everything a little too high. If you've been following me, you already know this. But I'm going to start by taking a little bit of this brown, the same brown, the Solas, which is the one that we use in the lower lashes, with a brush that looks like this. This is the Makeup Geek Outer V brush. Any sort of, again, a pencil brush would work fine as well. And we're going to start applying this to the outer part of the eye, just creating a bit of a rounded shape. And then this definitely takes a lot of building and adding a little bit at a time. So just kind of wedge that into the crease and then just kind of slowly start to pull it. I know it looks crazy, but we will fix this. No worries. Alright, so then once I have that down and sort of blended, it's not completely blended out, but I'm going to go back with that fluffy brush that I used to put the kind of taupey, cool tone taupe shade. I'm going to go in with a little bit more of that same color, and just to kind of start softening the edges of this a bit. And then to add a little bit more warmth and start incorporating some of those warmer tones, I'm going to take this brown, and I think it's called Latinus. Some of the letters look a little weird. It's like old English writing on the back. So anyways, this here, it's a bit of a cooler brown. And I'm going to add that first before we go in with some more red brown. So again, just going to intensify this outer V area here. And I'm not going to pull this color in too far. I'm going to kind of stake right here, pretty much stopping right here on the outer part, the outer third of the eye. And then to kind of bring in some of the warmer tones, some of that red. Again, this is what it looks like here. It's one that looks kind of similar to Cocoa Bear. Going back in with that MAC 219, tapping off the excess. And what I'm going to do is kind of pull this lower lash line out, further out, extend it out, and then start to kind of feather this in to the crease. Again, that outer V of the eye. As you can see here with the motion of my brush, I'm trying to keep that sort of rounded shape, and then I'm going to kind of slowly start creating a bit of a point. So you can see on this other eye here. Okay, So then to sort of blend this out a bit, I'm going to go back in with that fluffy brush and kind of work everything back and forth to kind of help blend all the colors together. Alright, so again, I'm going to go in with some more of that sort of reddish brown. I'm going to go in with the same Outer V brush by Makeup Geek. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and forth between the red brown and this sort of like deeper brown. And I'm going to lightly mix the two and tapping off the excess because this is very potent. And I'm going to start sort of applying this onto the lower lid area and connecting it up into the Outer V. Just to kind of start deepening this up and then blending it back and forth. And you can add as much or as little as you want. Again, this is completely your preference as to how much you want to add. And then to sort of like clean this up a bit here, just to kind of define the shape that I'm going for, I'm going to go in with that sort of banana color that I used originally as a base. And I'm going to take a really tiny little brush. This is from Coastal Scents. And I'm going to go right on this outer part of the eye and apply it just to create, as you can see, instantly helps clean up any messes. Because I've already done my concealer, so that's a little tip. Just use like a skin tone color to kind of clean up your edges a bit if you mess up. And that definitely should take care of most mistakes. Alright, for the inner part of the eye, I'm going to switch to an angled brush like this. This is the 766 Delium Tools brush. And I'm going to apply this sort of light shade here. This one is called Succubus. I don't know. I'm probably like butchering these names. Way to go, Kat Von D, with the names, because they're very different. This one is sort of like a little bit of a satiny shade. I'm going to apply this to the inner part and connect it up into that peach. It just kind of helps open up the eye a little bit as well. And then because this palette is completely matte, I want to add just a little bit of something so that my eye is not so flat. So I'm going to add a bit of a highlight, and I'm trying to find the brush that I used for this. I don't remember. Oh, hello. This brush here. This is the number 237 Detail Shader Brush by Zoeva. And I'm going to use the Makeup Geek Eyeshadow in Bling, which is a very shimmery champagne color. Love this for an inner corner highlight. And I'm going to apply this just right into this inner pocket here. And just kind of slowly bring it up onto the lid. But don't bring it in too much because I just want it right on this outer part. And then I'm going to just kind of soften that a bit with my finger. Now for some liner, I'm going to go in with another Zoeva brush. This is the Wing Liner Brush, number 317. My very favorite liner brush of all time. I'm going to go in with this sort of really deep charcoal color here. Looks like this is in the center of the palette. It's called Liberatus. And I'm going to kind of do a line that's somewhat a little on the thicker side, but again, not super thick because I don't want to take away from the lid colors. So I'm going to just stick really close to the lash line at first. And then I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to wipe off everything that's on it, and I'm going to kind of lay it on its side and go back and forth just to soften the lines a bit. Because I'm going to go in with some gel liner. And I'm using the Bobbi Brown gel liner in black ink with the Bent Liner brush. This is number 315 Fine Liner from Zoeva. I did a review on these pink brushes that you've seen in lots of my tutorials, and I will link that video down below for you. But with this gel liner, what I'm going to do is stick really close to the root just to create a lot of darkness the root of the lash, and I'm also going to tight line. Alright, and then I'm going to load up my lower lashes with a lot of mascara because I'm going to go in with some falsies. Although the false eyelashes that I'm wearing are almost indetectable because they are so natural and I absolutely love them. I will show you in a minute what they are. But lash discovery in the bottom, I'm going to do a couple coats of this just to kind of thicken up my lower lash line. For my upper lashes, I'm using Lash Sensational by Maybelline. I'm almost done with it. You're probably sick of me using this mascara, but I have Yet another Maybelline mascara ready to be opened. And yes, it's the Rocket Volume, my go-to from the drugstore. I'm going to apply one generous coat, nothing too crazy, like I normally would, because I'm wearing some false eyelashes. So just one coat. Alright, so this is one coat of the mascara on my natural lashes so that you can see the difference. This is just a tad bit thicker with the lashes just because of the false eyelashes that I'm going to use. But this is what it would look like had you not put on any lashes. So if you have long lashes or if you don't feel like wearing them, you don't have to. This look is not like super, super dark where you really need to have false eyelashes. So now that we got that out of the way, I'm using the number 110s by Ardell. These are the natural multi-pack. And I got mine, I think it looks like this packaging, for about 10 bucks at my local Ulta stores. But they're just so soft and natural. And I thought that my Demi Wispies were natural, but these are just perfect. They're comfortable. I have them on. I've had them on this whole video, and you may not even be able to see a difference. Can you? Can you tell? Can you tell the difference between this eye and this eye? Because this is the one with the falsies, obviously. So I'm going to pop on the other one, and then I'll meet you back to show you the completed look. Okay, so for the rest of the face, I didn't film it just because I want to keep this as short as possible, but I will have everything listed down below. My blush, if you're wondering, is the Makeup Geek blush in Bliss, which is a really beautiful soft peach, which I think is perfect for those who are fair like me or even more fair, because it is a very soft, it's an everyday color. It literally goes with absolutely any look that you create. It just adds the perfect amount of color to your cheeks, and it is matte, by the way. So the glow that you're seeing here, that super shiny glow, is not because I'm oily, but it's because I'm using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Opal. I had to look to make sure, but this is Opal. I love it. It's the one that's like a cream, or like a liquid, I guess. They do have it in the pressed, and they do have it in the poured cream. They have so many different finishes and whatever, so I will link them down below if you're interested, but I absolutely love this sort of super glowy and dewy look. I like it a lot. Okay, and then for my lips, I'm using a Too Faced lip product. These are the Longwear lipsticks, the melted ones. This is in the Melted Nude. This little mini came in a set from last year's holiday, but you can find this shade full size if you're wondering. I will link it down below. You can find them at Ulta and also Sephora. So that's all I'm wearing today. I was going to do some liner, but you know, I said screw it. And it's more of a matte finish than I would prefer, and they're not like super, super drying, but I can definitely feel that they are very matte. So I do love the tone of this sort of matte. I usually use this mixed with other things, but I think the tone of it goes so well with the eyes and the cheeks and everything. It just, I don't know, I really love how this whole look came together. The false eyelashes, as I mentioned, the 110s are just absolutely perfect. They're the everyday lash. I'm so glad that I found that sort of style that works for me, and I actually didn't have to cut these or trim them at all. They fit perfectly on my eye shape. So I hope that you guys enjoy this look, and let me know if you want me to do any more tutorials with the Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D. I know this is something that I'm pretty sure it's going to be very popular if it's not already. I will link this palette down below for you if you're interested. I will be doing some swatches and maybe an initial review and first impressions on the blog. So if that's already done before this video goes up, I will link that down below for you. If not, I will definitely share that through Instagram, which if you don't follow me there, then I would suggest it so that you can kind of keep track with the reviews if you want to on the blog, and of course when new videos are posted. So thank you guys so much for following me and supporting me and for watching the video, for tuning in today. I hope that you guys are having a fabulous day, and I will see you guys very, very soon.